Rebecca. How are you?
I'm good. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. Everything's just fine. Happy Thanksgiving.
I know every Thanksgiving. I'm so excited. I'm going to be 2 days in the kitchen. Yes.
That's funny. That's funny. Mom stuff, huh?
Yeah, but you know what? It's something that I'm grateful for is having the mindset and the joy and my children and the peace and the love and the relationship and the harmony to be able to celebrate a happy Thanksgiving. This is such an
Absolutely.
amazing time for me compared to the previous years when I had none of that. And I just
That's
had
amazing.
lots of stress and misery. So I am very happy and thankful.
That's so nice. That's so nice. I am excited to talk about our topic today, and I think it's a topic that a lot of people are going to relate to. It affects everybody, and everything, and it's the relationship with ourselves and
Mm.
how that affects everything else, basically, our relationship with everything else, with money, with time, and with our love. So, and I think it's not something that can be kind of spoken about like in 20 minutes or 30 minutes. I think it's a really huge topic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a topic that it's something that's an ongoing process through our whole life. But thankfully for me, I'm thankful because my relationship with myself is always evolving. So in that respect, I can always be thankful for what I've been through, right? For everything that
Exactly.
I've been through,
Yes.
even the hard parts, even
Yes.
the divorce, even the breakups, the recent breakup that I had. I know that you went through a breakup, but went came back
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
your partner. What I have to say about that is that the foundation for me is to build intimacy with myself, to learn from my mistakes, and to embrace my wounds, okay? Whether
Mm.
that's trauma wounds or wounds that are a little more lighter, like a breakup. It doesn't have to be
Mm.
traumatizing. It
Mm.
can be just, things not working out. And if I embrace those wounds, it actually creates that intimacy with myself first, and then I can create intimacy with something else.
Mm.
And my most recent example of that is actually my breakup.
Mm.
So for me, my pattern has been kind of to be in relationships where I tend to lose myself. So my focus becomes them, like almost 90% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And that for me was actually, my first instinct is to beat myself up about that, or all the mistakes that I made, or my lack of boundaries, or how I allowed them to do certain things that I wasn't comfortable with because I wanted to please them. But the outcome of that is that I walked away from that relationship because I was aware
Mm.
of the unhealthy patterns. And what has come out of that is re rediscovering myself and taking those lessons and growing from them. So the next time around, I can be more stable with myself, and I will know what I want and what I don't want, and what my
Mm.
boundaries are surrounding, like my hobbies, my interests. Another pattern of mine is changing my schedule to accommodate them.
Mm.
Very codependent behavior and stuff like that, that I really want to step my game up. So if I'm consistent with myself and make promises with myself, like things like, for example, making a list of things that I won't be doing anymore, okay?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if I'm consistent with that list, then I can build trust with myself. And if I can build trust with myself, then I can most probably build trust with someone else. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and like the first thing that comes through my mind is just a question, like what does your self-love-o-meter look like? How is it? What is the measurement of your self-love-o-meter? How much self-love do you have? Because I think that one of the greatest issues with us when we are codependent is that we are not loving ourselves enough to value our own selves and actually really enjoy spending time with ourselves. You know, so that you want, like, you feel when in that moment of quiet, in that moment of solitude, you get desperate. You feel like you need somebody else to fill that void. So I think that what you're saying is really powerful. And, you know, yes, knowing what you won't do again is really important, or knowing what your non-negotiables are. And that's just getting to know yourself. Like in this time that you're on your own and, you know, you spend time doing things on your own, this is when you need to really get to know yourself. What are your loves? What are your passions? What are the things you enjoy doing? And really, like, if you're sitting down on your own and you're like, you know, you need to have some sort of background, you need to be distracted, like, go down and say, why? Like, why can't I just sit here and be happy with just myself right now without a distraction? Like, what's going through my mind that is making me not really enjoy myself? Because if you are unable to enjoy your own company, then you cannot expect somebody else to really enjoy your company in a relationship in the long term, right? Because yes, you know, in the beginning of a relationship is so beautiful, and there's even love bombing, you know, at some point, like there's like this honeymoon period. But when the honeymoon period is over, you know, if you don't love yourself and don't enjoy spending time with yourself, then I guarantee you that the other person is going to feed off of that as well, right? So, you know, there's a lot of details. Like you said, 20 minutes on a call today is not going to cover all of the details that go into this topic, but I think it all comes down to self-love. And what are you doing for yourself? You know, what are you doing? What are the specific things that you're doing, you know, internally and externally, to demonstrate to yourself that you actually love and value yourself every single day? And it could be as simple as just allowing yourself to just sit down and relax for a little bit versus the running around trying to please everybody. You know, it could be as simple as doing something that you love. I love painting. You know, I love sitting down and painting because it's good for my mental health, for my anxiety. You know, when I have a lot of anxious thoughts and I just need to kind of like sit down and, you know, just slow down, I just sit down and paint, and I allow myself that without feeling guilty. I'll take myself out, you know, I'll beauty myself up, take a book and take myself out and buy myself a drink. You know, just simple little things like that. I won't do the laundry. I'll sleep in a pile of laundry for a day and be okay with it. You know why? Because damn it, I do it all the time. Like, you are allowed to have a day off, you know, and just really enjoy spending time with yourselves and validating those everyday feelings that you have. And if you're finding yourself really like uncomfortable with quiet and solitude, then you need to question, where is that coming from? Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And you know, a lot of people, I used to be really uncomfortable with the aloneness or going home to an empty house. And because the truth is that I thought that I needed someone there to stimulate me, or like you said, to distract or to do. I couldn't just sit and not do anything and just be with myself. It was a lonely place to be. So, and I thought that would be covered by looking for something externally, but it's so not the case. It comes from a feeling within. So if I tap into that feeling of loneliness or emptiness, where is it coming from? What is it saying? You know, and ultimately it's saying, connect with me. I'm here too, you know, so me and me. And I really, really, really relate to what you said about, you know, if you can't be with yourself, or you're not happy with yourself, or if you don't enjoy your own company, how can you expect someone else to enjoy it? So if I'm miserable and depressed, No one's going to really want to be around that. Another thing about us, because we're single moms, I was thinking of something, is that we have a specific role as mom, right? And for
Yep.
our kids, we're only that. Like
Mm.
they can't see us as any other role or person. We're just a mom, and we're not just a mom. So that ties into when my kids are not with me, or my kids are just not my whole life. That's not just who I am. I'm not just a mom. What else am I? What other places in my life can I, enrich and do? Because if I get stuck on that mom, I was in that mom frequency and only that mom frequency for 7 years after I got divorced. I wouldn't date. I mean, I saw my friends a little bit, but it was just that. And we're not just moms. We're also,
You're a sexy hot mama.
hot mama, and yes, I
You
can
gotta
take myself
act it.
out.
You're badass. You gotta act it. You're an entrepreneur. You are, you're a mom, yes, but you're also a beautiful woman. You're an entrepreneur. You are a provider. You are a nurturer. You are all of those things. You're a friend. You are amazing in every way. You're a coach. You are amazing in every way. And once you start looking at those qualities and listing those qualities within yourself, you can sit there on your own and, with your feet up and a cup of coffee or tea and just be like, damn, I'm freaking badass. And I really like spending time with myself. I am good company. And that is not narcissistic. Absolutely not. That's really just self-love. And I think, when you were asking, where does that come from? I'm going to say it. We always say it, Christina. It comes from childhood trauma. Right?
Hell yeah. That disconnection of self.
Because if from childhood, you are not valued, you are not given a voice, your company is like, maybe you were bullied, made fun of, and it was, you receive this, response from the people around you, you learned to see yourself through that perspective as a child. So as you get older, you're now self-loathing, self-hating, bullying yourself. One of the most powerful things that I experienced was when I started to get into those moments of quiet. And I was going through, this was I think this was a time that I hired a relationship coach many years ago, or a few years ago, when I was like, I'm sick of like all my relationships are shitty. Like every relationship in my life is shitty and I need help. So I hired a coach, a life coach, to help me in the area of relationships. And one day, as I was just doing like my meditation or whatever I was doing, I don't remember, I can hear the voice in my mind telling me how horrible I was. And why did I do this? And you're so horrible, and you're so this, and putting me down. And because I had gotten into a practice of writing down my limiting beliefs and my thought process, I was like really taking my thoughts out and putting it in a journal. And as I was processing my thoughts, I can hear these thoughts saying these mean things to me. And I was like, holy shit, I am mean. I am mean to myself. I am so mean to myself. I would never say any of those things to anybody else, not even my worst enemy, not even the a-hole that hurt me. I would never say those things that I'm saying to myself in my mind. I'm putting myself down. And when I discovered that pattern inside of me, it's when I started to heal that. It didn't like overnight, like, okay, well, I'm thinking this, I'm not going to feel it anymore. No, that was a process of healing, but it's really going down and discovering those inner voices. What are they saying to you? And that is how you're treating yourself. That's how you see yourself. And if you see yourself with those mean thoughts and those mean perspectives and judgmental and putting yourself down and, you know, all this stuff, then I guarantee you that you will continue to attract people outside of you that are going to treat you that way, because that's the vibration that you're giving. That's the energy that you're giving off, that you don't deserve to be treated any better than the way you're treating yourself in your mind. So I think that the key to discovering how to have a better relationship with yourself is listening to those inner voices inside of you, where they came from, even from your childhood, and then identifying them, listening to them. Don't silence them because they're there, but listen to what they're saying, and then you can bring them out in a journal and say them out loud and hear them and be like, that's bullshit. I can't believe I'm saying that shit to myself. You have to put it out there.
Absolutely. It's kind of like reprogramming your brain, rewiring it, because when you're told consistently as a child a certain script, you hear that script becomes your script, and it becomes that inner critic, that saboteur, and we need to rewire it. So it's not enough just to get a coach, do a program, and then you're done. You know, you buy a program and then you're done. You have to continue. That's why I said in the beginning, it's not a subject that we can kind of, deal with or fix, or there's a solution in one little session. No, it has to be ongoing, and it has to be consistent. And exactly, if we don't do this work with ourselves first, and if I'm continuously repeating that inner dialogue to myself, like you said, like I would never talk to anybody else the way I talk to myself. I'm my own worst enemy. That's the frequency I'm going to attract. I'm going to attract a person that treats me like that. And then I'm going to wonder, why is he such an a-hole? Why is he treating me like that? Because, girl, I believe it. That's what I believe.
Exactly. Yeah. And because you believe it, every time it manifests, you take the bullshit. You don't stand up to it. You don't stand up to, how can you stand up for something that you don't believe in? So if somebody's telling you, you know, you're this, you're that, it's putting you down, and you actually believe that shit, you take it. So then you don't create boundaries. But the moment you say, wait a second, what that person is saying is contrary to what I'm saying to myself, I'm freaking badass. I'm a badass mom. I'm a beautiful woman. I'm very caring. I'm very loving. I'm very, all of these wonderful qualities. And what I give, like I give so much, and I deserve to be loved and respected. And once you have that belief in yourself, it empowers you to stand up to people and be like, fuck off. I'm not taking that bullshit. Because to be honest, what I've learned in my relationship, in my healthy relationship, with my guy, is that even a healthy relationship can turn toxic if you allow toxic behaviors to persist. But that's why you need to create that, like you said, relationship with yourself, with ourselves, to get to know, you know, first of all, where is all this negativity coming from, and putting it out there and listening to it, and then hearing it and be like, that's bullshit, and then start replacing that with the positive things. See yourself in the mirror and say, look, you're a beautiful woman. You're intelligent, you're smart, you're resilient. Start putting those labels on you, because that's your truth. That's your reality, not those negative things.
Absolutely. And I think the best way, just to wrap this up, the best actually opportunity to practice this is in a romantic relationship, because they're so intense and they're mirrors. They show us, our partner mirrors us. So whatever's going to trigger you, I know it's not easy and it's incredibly painful, but actually it's an opportunity, because they're going to mirror your wound.
Absolutely.
They're going to mirror that, and that's an opportunity for you to work on it.
But that's when you have to stand up, because if you allow that bullshit, then that's your reality. You are not loving yourself, because you're loving yourself in the same way that they're expressing that love towards you, because you're allowing that bullshit. So when you stand up to that, then you're actually practicing self-love. Yes. But with that said, you know, even not in a relationship, because I know that when I had my breakup, one of the most powerful things that I did during that time is really getting rid of the crazy busyness outside of me, and taking the time to go into myself and spend time with myself. just enjoy time with myself, you know, doing things that I liked to do. And that helped me, you know, get to the bottom of the pain that I was feeling, which ultimately caused me to manifest my guy back in a healthier, most amazing way. And I can't say, oh yeah, we've had absolutely zero issues, no fights at all. No, we've had fights, but this time I'm able to articulate and stand up for myself and say what's going on is not okay. Versus before, I would allow the bullshit because I was unable to articulate that. So getting to know yourself is critical. Having a good relationship with yourself is critical to have a healthy relationship moving forward with someone else.
Absolutely. Amen to that. So for those women that are watching, spend time alone a little bit. Don't jump into one relationship after the other. Just, you know, like you said, take yourself out, go on a date, go to the movies, spend time alone to get to know you before you enter another relationship.
Love yourself, ladies. Thanks so much,
Absolutely.
Christina. This was so
Thank
awesome.
You.
Until next time.
Until next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.